and or a $4,000 fine. How old are you?
26.
26, and you now have 2 DWIs. What happens on the next one?
I don't know.
You need to know what happens on the next one.
Bad news, yeah.
No, not bad news. What happens? I'm going to tell you now that you now have 2 DWIs going on your record. If you were ever pulled over and you have the slightest smell of alcohol on your breath, any officer that pulls you over is going to say, well, if it walks like a duck and it talks like a duck, meaning if it's got DWI, one, and it's got another DWI, it's probably DWI again and is able to withhold his tolerance. They're going to arrest you. No questions asked. They're not going to give a rat's behind whether you're drunk or not. The smell alone will be enough to take them down. And now you will be looking at up to 10 years in prison. Up to 10 years in prison. That's what you're going to be facing. I hope you really appreciate the gravity, because do you know what they would do to you in prison, Mr. McCollum? A little white boy stick piece, you know what they would do to you in prison? Holy moly, I've read stuff that was so bad it had me in freaking tears. How they just pass people along like it's a freaking rag doll. And you know what? The jailers don't give a rat's behind what happens in there. Some places are so bad they don't even go there. And I promise you, because I'm a judge, I get to read extra stuff that you're never going to get your eyes on. And it literally had me in tears, how they treat people. So you're one step away. And I hope that you appreciate that. All you have to do is pick up a phone, hit one button. You'll have a car for $20, take you anywhere you want to go in this freaking city. Don't matter where you want to go. It's always $20. How much money have you spent on all this? Yeah, and now it's going to cost you more, because you will be required to pay for the DPS fines and fees and surcharges. And if you don't, I'm going to put your butt in jail. And every $100 you owe, you will sit in custody. You're now going to be required to pay somewhere to the tune of around $6,500 to $7,000. So you can imagine how much time you will sit in jail if you don't pay it. Do you understand? Because I am trying to impress on you how dangerous this type of offense is and how very important you must take this in the future so you don't end up in prison. What are we doing, jail?
They reduced it to a Class B misdemeanor, DWI first, interlock, 18 months probation, and TRAS, all the conditions that go with the TRAS.
180 days in jail to be probated for 18 months. As part of the probation, you will do a repeat offender DWI education class, 2 victim impact panels, a TRAS, which is an evaluation to see what other conditions you may need. You must fulfill those conditions. If they tell you that you need to do inpatient treatment, well, that's where you're going to go. If they tell you that you have to do intensive outpatient or SOP, then you must do those as well. If you don't, then guess what happens? I will issue a warrant for your arrest, and then you will be looking at 180 days in jail. And I myself, if I find that you're consuming alcohol while you're on this probation, I will put you into treatment myself. And I'm going to tell you, it lasts for 180 days if you respond to treatment well. If not, you can be in there for a year and a half. Do you understand? I just put someone in yesterday, and they're going to be in there for a solid 6 to 9 months, maybe a year and a half. You understand? No drugs, alcohol, random urinalysis, guardian interlock, no breath test refusal, meaning that if you take a breath, if you're driving in a car and an officer asks you to submit to a breath test, you must submit to a breath test. If you don't, you're in violation of this agreement. Do you understand?
On May 2nd, 2024, officers were dispatched to a convenience store in regard to a shooting in progress. Upon arrival, they searched for the vehicle, which had already left the store. Complainant Tamika reported that she was at the store when the defendant came in, and he was acting erratically, stumbling, seemed to be under the influence of something, and kept saying, "Why are you guys always fucking with me?" unprovoked. He went outside, got a gun out of his car, and fired once in the air. She described him as, yes, Your Honor. She described him as acting weird, like he was on something, and she saw a gun fall out of his waistband, saw him pick it up, and saw him leave the store, get in his car, and leave, and back into her car, then drive off. He came to a stop at 1900 Commonwealth, got out of his car, and came into another occupied car, and went to the same location and got out and started yelling. The total damages to the vehicle were $500. Defendant was taken to Bental because he was hyperventilating and he had a high heart rate. No firearms, narcotics, or alcohol were in the vehicle. Medical results returned. Defendant was positive for opioids, cocaine, and benzodiazepine. At the time, he was admitted to the hospital.
Eli, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm extremely surprised that they didn't charge you with the gun case, aggravated assault, who knows what else. I am now revoking your bond on the false report, the first case, and I'm going to raise it up to $30,003 because you scare me. You are a complete and utter danger to the public and have no business. Do you understand? If you get out of jail, I am ordering you under home confinement and doing AA and NA classes 5 times a week with a GPS monitor on one ankle and a scram bracelet on the other, and you are to remain home all day, every day. And the only time you can go out is either to a hospital or to meet with your lawyer. Do you understand?
I had no gun on it.
I'm also ordering you as a condition of your bond not to drive. You will be signing an affidavit with me today promising you you're not going to drive. I don't care what your excuse is. If you drive, I will have a contempt hearing. You'll be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you get into a car and drive. Tell me, how long have you been in jail, Mr. Eli?
2 days.
Are you still coming down?
Yes.
How is it?
Pretty terrible.
Sucks, right? Yeah. Especially when you're on opiates. It's probably one of the worst come downs you can have. You're lucky you're not seizing. I'm going to tell you now, Shreya, that I'd like to do a TRAS on Mr. Eli. And I'm not going to entertain any offers until we do it. And I need to know if he needs treatment into a facility based on his priors. I mean, this has been going on for the last 5 years now, where he's been using hardcore substances. And I'm really afraid that you're going to kill someone. You're on something. You allegedly have a gun. You're shooting it into the air. What goes up must come down. What if it comes down on a 5-year-old's head, Mr. Eli? Who gets charged with murder? Who's looking at life in prison? Do you think of these things? It's high time you did, because that's kind of behavior where you didn't mean to do it. I didn't know that what I was doing. I was a little bit. And then someone's looking, and even though you don't get life, you still might get 40. Typically, when I see these cases, it's 30 years. Gone. Do you understand, Mr. Eli? I will have you come up here, swear to us that you're not going to drive, and then we'll have you placed back into the jail, and we're going to have you evaluated, and then we'll go from there.